Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right, most recommended Eustace Body Shop. Woohoo!
Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Hi, this is State Senator Carolyn Bosson. Education is a cornerstone for strong, vibrant communities. I voted for the largest investment in education in Nebraska history. As a state senator, wife, and mom, I believe Nebraska is a great place to work and raise a family. My husband Reggie and I are local family business owners and understand the valuable role of education in growing our community. This is Carolyn Bosson, and I will continue to support education in the legislature. Vote Carolyn Bosson on November 5th. Paid for by Bosson for Legislature.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
It's time to go one-on-one with DP. Coming at you live from the Koppel Chevrolet GMC studios. Here is your host, Derek Pearson. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
$93.7 The Ticket, one-on-one. You can be a part of the conversation. We're talking quarterback play. Lots to talk about. Sauter Heyman text line, 402-464-5685. You want to be a part of it? Hit us up. Get a what's up. You can follow live on all the streams, Facebook, YouTube, X, and Allo Channel 961. If you want to be a part of what we're doing, Harrison Arns manning the board as we do what we do. We thank the folks from Teammates Mentoring, Des Moines Adams, Ashton to Honor for what they're doing. And if you haven't joined the team and haven't become a member and a mentor, it's a good time. It really requires 30 minutes of you sitting across the table from a young person and connecting them. You need 20 visits. They say 20 visits. Build the connection and keep the connection and make it valid. 20 half hours at a school in this area for you to mentor. Just so you don't have to make plans. You don't have to spend money. You don't have, it's not that kind of deal. These are brilliant, bright young people, and they just need for you to give them 30 minutes of your time each week. Pick the day, pick the school, pick the age group that you want to deal with, pick the gender if you want, right? To go through. But there's somebody, younger you is waiting for this version of you now. What would you bring to your life when you were 12 years old, 14 years old, 15 years old, 17 years old? What would it be like to have a purposeful, missioned adult who is just there, and you don't have to lead them, you don't have to direct them, you don't have to parent them, you just have to be there and be present, have conversations with them. So you can find that information on the Teammates Mentoring website, and I would love to hear that you're considering it and that you've crossed the line and committed to being there for somebody, a young person. That's how communities are built. And we're asking you to be a teammate, join the team. It's time. Let's set the tone. High standards, there's one voice.
The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea. With a rollicking song, he sweeps along, swaggering boisterously. His face is weather-beaten. He wears a hooded sash, with a silver hat about his head, and a bristling black mustache. He growls as he storms the country, a villain big and bold. And the trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
Oh, that's spectacular. That is spectacular standards being set and met. Ah, so good. Let's bring in the QB coach.
Let's go, baby. Handing out lollipops today.
BT, the BT Express, Barry Thompson in the building. Coach, what's happening with you?
Hey, man, everything's good on the wood. It's this time of year. We're getting down to the end of the season. We got hockey going on. We got baseball going on, and we're cooking. So everything's good, baby.
Barry Thompson, how you doing?
I'm good and getting better.
How about you? How about you, Barry Thompson? How about
Yes,
you?
sir. And then I told you the other one when everybody asked about your family,
Mm-hmm.
right? You said, how's your family doing? You said, everybody's doing what they should be doing.
Hey,
There you
winning.
go.
We're winning. We're winning across
Yes,
the
sir.
board. Let's talk about this thing that happened in your neighborhood, Barry Thompson. It's a thing that it said when things are good in the hood.
Yes.
In Northern Virginia, there was an event. There's a thing that happened, and when football circles all gather around a play made by a quarterback, a coaching decision made by an offensive coordinator and a head coach, defensive failures by defensive coordinators, players being distracted in the greatest moment of their day and getting a lesson. So let's start at the very beginning by setting it up. That
Yeah.
the Washington Commanders they were in a game with two rookie quarterbacks. And
Where we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Remember I said
Yep.
this game to see.
Yep, set it up that Caleb Williams and Jalen Daniels were going to compete. Two rookie quarterbacks, different journeys to their place.
Yep.
Both Heisman Trophy winners, both having the opportunities to turn around entire football factories.
Right.
Chicago Bears, this is a franchise of note.
Mhm.
They have priority and importance in the NFL. The league would not exist as it currently does without them. You cannot tell the story of the National Football League without talking about the Chicago Bears. Matter of
Right.
fact, some people would say you better start there because the league sure did.
That's right.
And then with the Washington Football Organization, whatever way you describe them and talk about them, the league is better when they're better. And both are under young leadership, new coaches,
Yep.
different coordinators,
Mm-hmm.
and they put themselves in a situation where in the final minute, the final 60 seconds
Yep.
of football in the National Football League on a Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, Caleb Williams and Jalen Daniels made plays.
Yes.
Barry Thompson, they made plays. So
Yeah. Yes.
let's talk through
Yeah.
that in the first drive of note, in that minute, they
Right.
take them 60. Caleb Williams takes the Bears 60 yards, 60
Right.
plus yards. And he makes two throws in this that were athletic, they were cerebrally authentic and pretty impressive for
Yeah.
him to know and be connected to it. So young
Sure.
quarterback play. What do you say to Caleb Williams and his final drive?
Well, let's start there. First of all, I didn't get to see it. So I was on the field to tell you how it reverberates. And there is a part that kind of sets up what you're talking about. It reverberated so much, I started getting calls pinging. Hey, did you see it? Did you see it? And I actually had a football meeting. So I saw the play itself with the sound off. And I knew there was a lot of jubilation, but I couldn't tell whether it's just one of those fantastic plays or whether it was the play. And then I started getting it. So the reverberation around me was great. And I want to speak what I did see. I had to get my hands on the all 22, and it was really interesting. This speaks to this drive that you said that Caleb had, and I'm going to get to it. Is they started off so roughly, and their offense, when you look at the all 22, it is a awkward combination of play calls, play design, asking him to do maybe too much at times. If you remember back in the game, they had this 4-by-1 formation that they would line up in, and he would do all this stuff, and then they would get into another formation and run the play. Well, in West Coast, they used to have a thing called scatter. That was a formation that they would line up called scatter. And if you heard the John Gruden's call, one of them is scatter to West right tight. And one of the things about that scatter formation, they never ran a play out of it. And you're watching them and you're thinking, okay, you're lined up in this thing. You're actually going to call a play out of this formation. So I'm saying this to say there were times when you look at the all 22 where that offense, from the offensive line perspective, from the receivers getting in sync and understanding space perspective, it really looked herky-jerky. And for him to come up with a drive and for the play calling to kind of sync in the moment when it was supposed to sync and come up with a play, again, I think this points to that maybe there's something there with Caleb. Just like when we talked a few weeks ago, we were talking about who we wanted to end the game. And I said, hey, it could be the start of something, but I need to see more. I think you're beginning to see that the things that were so disruptive about their offense are fixable things, easily fixable from the standpoint you can reduce it. And let's make things simple. When you watch Jalen go through the game, he had a lot of easy completions, right? He's backed up, boom, ball here, boom, ball here. So there may be some simplification that takes place with the Bears. The defense is good. And Caleb is talented. He is talented, although at points in that game, he didn't look that talented or looked a little less than, I guess is fair to say. But, yeah, that's some big-time stuff. Good players tend to announce themselves. You just have to pay attention when they're speaking. And I think for him to come up with a drive like that when it counted after having that type of game, to me, that really speaks to the professionalism, the grit that he understands that it's going to be an up and down game, that things aren't always going to go right. But when it's time to play, he and the coordinator, however they got it together. So I'm impressed. It's taken a while to go through the all 22, but I've been impressed so far.
Through all of it, some of the conversation, and Barry, we have to be present in that we have to be delicate and authentic at the same time, and talking about the Chicago Bears with Harrison Arns in the room.
Yes.
I had a moment with him when I got back Monday, kind of the boomerang with Eddie Murphy and David Allen Greer, where they just kind of stand in the hallway and he doesn't know what to say. So he just puts his hands to the sky and he just offers him a hug, and they don't talk. And then they hug and back pat, and then they go in their opposite directions because they're really, had a conversation without stepping on toes and not stepping on feelings. So Harrison Arns, I'll ask you this to jump in here now, and please add to it from the Bears fan perspective. How was your Sunday?
Well, I'll say this: the offense was struggling, but the defense has been great all year long. That's been the bread and butter of this Bears team, is that the defense is keeping us in games. So to Barry Thompson's point, we just need to have it sink in on the offensive side. Whatever you think of the OC Shane Waldron, there's been a few moments, and Caleb Williams has shown up in the fourth quarter. You kind of knew that, where, speaking of fourth quarter, you get to the end of that goal line, you're able to punch it in. Weird play call, giving it to Kramer on a little bit of trickery there. I'm not a fan of that. You just hand it to the back. You fumble that one, but again, you're going back to this Bears defense. All right, well, they're pinned in the back of the end zone. We can play field position. There's still life. The Bears do what they do on defense. They get another stop, and that's when you see that offense, again, march down the field, punch it in. And I, a little too quick with it, started texting some other Commander friends that I know. And then, of course, there's the Hail Mary. It's one thing to lose on a Hail Mary, and then, you get the all 22 version of the Hail Mary, and you see Stevenson flexing on the fan base a little bit, part one, and then to also be the guy to run in there, realizing the receivers are downfield already, and tip it up in the air. I had a bunch of reverberation as well, and they were calling me asking if I was okay. So it was a tough one for me. It took me a couple days to get over it. Every time I think I'm over it, we dive back into it. I mean, it's gonna be the highlight of the NFL for multiple weeks. It's one of those plays that, like the double doinker I was telling DP before we started, that's gonna ring true for a long time until the Bears can start winning and we can all forget about the bad times.
Yeah, he's gonna, whenever they have that position meeting, and the first clip that's gonna go up in that DB room, and it's gonna be there. But I'm gonna tell you, when you watch the all 22, you just see at various different points offensively just things that aren't right. So, for instance, at one point, there's a particular play where Caleb goes up and changes things, and both guards turn around. In the NFL, it's kind of common for the right guard, right, with all the noise, to turn back, and then he taps the center to let them know there's a count. And then, but when both guards turn around, that's confusion, right? And then you see on that particular play, you watch the running back, he kind of has to get something as a play force. You see that they do construct some easy plays, right, where he just gets back, first read, something's open, and he can go. So that stuff is there. The other thing I think is when you watch the receivers, there are certain receivers that they have that deserve the ball a lot more, and there's certain receivers that they have that deserve the ball a lot less. So it's not like they don't have the personnel there. I think there needs to be a little bit of rearranging of who's doing what when. And then probably the most glaring thing I saw early was, DP, we've talked to several times about QBs and receivers and quarterbacks, and I've said, you could put quarterbacks and receivers onto a field and set the depth of a route and footwork, and it can come out perfectly. That's fine. But it's the gray areas, right, where Kelsey plays and so forth. And I saw a couple times where Caleb kind of rolled out. There was a receiver that was open, but then he moved and he covered himself up. And it was like a near interception. All he had to do was stay in his spot. There was another one where he had a stick concept to his left. He had a receiver coming from the right, and it's normal to kind of get over the ball, find the space, and stop. So the stick concept isn't good. He turns to the middle, and he fires the ball expecting the guy to stop, but the guy's running through an open area. So those are fixable things with them, and it'll be interesting to see how they work out the premise. Do they reorganize who's doing what from a receiver standpoint? Do they decide to make things simple and have Caleb do all that stuff later on, or do they want him to get better at it? That's another question. And then, just from an O-line perspective, there was another block where, combo one-on-one. If Harrison, you or I, if I'm a guard and you're a tackle, and we're going to double team a 3 technique to the linebacker, combo one-on-one says we stay together, our eyes are up. If the back, I'm on your left side. If the backer comes to my left, you take over the block and I go get the linebacker, and just reverse. If the backer goes to my right, your right, you go get the linebacker and I take over the block. Well, there were a couple times where the backer went to the left, and Harrison, in this example, you left your guy too. And there's a 3 technique just free. So just like little simple things like that will make their offense smoother, correctable error. And it'll be interesting to see how they work out the premise the rest of the season. They're certainly in position to make the playoffs. 8 games in, right? You can kind of begin to see who's in position to do stuff and who isn't. And they're one of the teams that are kind of in position. So it'll be interesting to see how they work it out.
To go through the Hail Mary, and the receiver coach and me identified that diamond that they were setting up, which requires so much separation and time.
Yep.
But I wanted to ask you on the thing that Jalen Daniels did in moving the pocket and then breaking the pocket down so that a wall could be set up. There's some familiarity that's required in communication between a quarterback, its receivers, and then the line to stay active and block for him.
Right.
For you as the quarterback's coach, what drills, how much time can be put into that sort of play, that a desperation play That could be end of half. It could be end of regulation. How much time, how many drills, how many times can a quarterback drill that so that when that moment comes up, it is not new.
Right.
It is not, let's just wing it. It
Right.
is high repetition, high volume. You know what to expect. You know where the ball's going, and you kind of have a plan for how you're going to attack it.
It's almost as if everything in that play was coached, huh?
on one side, anyway.
Yeah. Well, let me say that in organizations that I've been part of, those things are done. If we're playing on Friday, those things are done every Thursday, and there's a specific set of plays and a specific way that you go through the Thursday leading up to the Friday game at the high school level. And yes, you run your 2-minute offense. Yes, you run plays on the air and you do that type of thing. But the other thing that you do on those Thursdays is that you go over the we need it situation. And typically you set that scenario up from the furthest back around the 20. And you want a play that you're going to call that gets you up to around midfield. You want to maybe cross midfield. And then you have another play that you're going to call, and the ball's going to be thrown into the end zone. So as far as the pocket goes, that's another level, right? There's an expectation, hey, if we get a 3-man rush, this is what we're going to do. This is how you're going to run around. This is where he's going, because the linemen have to understand what he's doing at that time too, right? And that just goes to the level of detail that's coached into a play like that. You know, where do we want the ball? How we're going to set up the diamond? Who's going to come in, covering the different scenarios? So it's just a matter of coaching it and then repping it. And lo and behold, it comes up and it works out.
It really is fun to watch.
Yeah.
And having athletes now playing the quarterback position and what it allows coaches to do and what it allows teammates to do. But Barry, we'll throw the break. We'll come back. I want to talk to you about another young quarterback, because in an opportunity, sometimes the young guys step up. And the thing that I noticed was the thing that I've been scrambling about, and that Dylan Raiola and the Huskers have to identify him as a runner. They have to understand how he uses his feet and what it does to an offense to have a quarterback that, whether it's in zone read, RPO, scramble drill, whatever it is, making big time throws are from the ground up. And I need for you to break that down for us. We'll do that with Barry Thompson, one-on-one, 93.7 Ticket.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the Ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Brought to you by General Fire and Safety, Raisin Canes, Perch Merch, Sunbelt Rentals, Mullen Motors, Select Plumbing, and the Kindler Hotel. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, this is Investigator Joe Villamonte with the Lincoln Police Union, asking you to vote for Carolyn Bosin for legislator. As a prosecutor, Carolyn Bosin has always supported law enforcement to keep our community safe. Carolyn Bosin has the experience we need. Carolyn Bosin is the only choice for legislator to keep our community safe. Join the law enforcement community in voting to keep our community safe. Vote Carolyn Bosin on November 5th.
Paid for by Bosin for Legislature.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, take over $11,000 off a 2024 Ford F-150. Experience better at Anderson Ford. stock number 1004296, MSRP of $66,645. Must finance with Ford Motor Company and have a qualifying trade and approved credit. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 11/13/24. See delivery details.
Tailored Life is your headquarters for all things fall in Bennett. Make the short drive down Highway 2 for tons of items for your home, both indoors and outdoors. Check out their variety of potted trees, mums, and more. Plus, porch pots and landscape lighting to enhance the outside of your home. Don't forget their home goods for indoors, plus convenient drinks and snacks, most of which are produced locally. Visit Tailored Life today in Bennett and stay tuned to their Facebook page at Tailored Life 360 for food truck events coming up.
I can't believe I just scratched that car. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Kreekak, at 402-474-1173.
NEPCO is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. NEPCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NEPCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
The electrical workers of local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Across Nebraska, voters will have the chance to end the current government abortion ban. The government shouldn't be making decisions for families' health care, but right now they are. Ending the ban takes 2 votes. A vote against 434, the first initiative, and then a vote for 439, the last initiative. It's only this combination that will finally get the government out of the personal medical decisions of Nebraska families. Voting against 434 and for 439 ensures that when there's a medical emergency, it's Nebraska families who decide what to do, not the government. This vote against 434 and for 439 makes it so our Nebraska doctors can treat every patient. The government put this ban in place, stripping Nebraska families of their freedom, but you can end it with 2 votes. The first against 434, and then vote for 439. Paid for by Protect Our Rights.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Back to One-on-One with DP, sponsored by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to One-on-One. Harrison, as a matter of fact, we have to do some things with the talent, and we've got some folks moving. And I like the fact that we're putting out the content.
Mm-hmm.
So shouting at you out in this space so that you know how much it's appreciated. Barry Thompson joins us here on One-on-One, and the QB coach, BT, kind sir. Listen, quarterback play, depending on the talent of the quarterback and the mental capacity of the offensive coordinator, QB coach, receivers coach, line coach, like they all have to play together and get on the same page. But if you're in running today's offense at any level, RPO is a part of the offensive game plan now. It just is. And whether you're running inside zone schemes, RPO schemes, or you've got an athlete back there who's just a playmaker, and in off cases, the lower the level, the better that your best athlete most likely is your quarterback and the guy that's most highly trained to play make in that space. Nebraska figured out Saturday in Columbus, Ohio, that Dylan Ryle was pulling the ball back because he was the one player of the 11 offensive players that they had not schemed for, because history and tendency had said that Dylan wouldn't pull it down and run it. But I always say, listen, the earlier a quarterback can make that 11th defender accountable, often making the 10th defender accountable and taking them out of that pass coverage, the better the offense runs. Offense being space being offense, that if we can take fewer defenders and get them out of coverage, it makes it easier for the quarterback. Barry Thompson, talk to me about.
Well, you're talking about kind of modern play design. So let's say I'm in gun and I have a running back to my left, and I'm a right-handed quarterback. So it's not just whether I can give on the run or not, or I'm looking at a backer and I can throw the RPO. The third option is I can pull. I can pull the ball and go run. So when you start designing more plays and more screens are involved, and going back to the game we were talking about, has anybody ever had a cat in the house? Listen, I'm just going to say something right here. We'll get back to football in a second. I was brought up on a farm, and I love my family, but I'm really not used to having animals inside the house. And by the way, I know people love their dogs, but I've never walked a dog in my life. That dog, if he needs some exercise, and I got this cat that just wants to. Anyway, back to the football game.
She loves Barry Thompson.
It's something. Now let me get clear. I don't hate animals. I know they're dependent. Like I said, I was brought up on a farm, but I'm just not used to having animals in the house. And this cat has been here for like 15 years, and he's doing fine. But anyway, he decided that he wanted to jump up on something and pull a couple cords. Anyway, back to the football game. Back to the game that we were talking about. So within the play design on the Redskins, I'll give you a scenario. Daniels was in the gun. He had a running back to his left, but he had a condensed formation with a tight slot to his left. And actually the tight end was in the slot, which you don't see very much. Now, normally in the NFL, when the tight end is kind of near the tackle or in that position, he's going to come across and you've got some type of thing going on. Well, what they did on that play is that they actually ran a bubble with the tight end to the left. So as the play's going to the right, you've got two unblocked defenders plus a safety now, because they were kind of in man, has to come flying down. So the tight end ran the bubble. The number one receiver out of him ran kind of a glance. And then there was a defender in the hole that he could have made an option off of. Those are the types of plays that I think when you have a quarterback who can run, or you want to make the defense defend, that you get to more of that kind of play design, rather the old play design, which is we're going to kind of guess what they're going to be in, and we'll try to have a hot route. This one is more organic, right? And that you are making your quarterback the decision maker, and you can get more of those 36-yard runs out of Dylan that you got because they're not accounting for him. Or, by the way, he's a little more athletic than people give him credit for. So, yeah, it's an important part of the game. And you saw Jaden, underrated about him is he's a problem in open field. I mean, he broke some ankles.
Yep.
And you're looking for a quarterback in any situation to get you out of a bad play or get you out of a bad situation and put you into one. And if that quarterback can run on top of his decision making, then that gives him another kind of hole card to play with. Another thing, and it's kind of, I'm losing the word, but when you're playing defense and you're covering all your angles, and all of a sudden this guy goes and pops you for a first down anyway, that's bad. And Jaden did that a couple times, right? He flipped they're second and long, they're expecting the blitz, he gets out of it and flips the sticks, right? So it is a problem, and I think you're going to see more offenses kind of build things in. The NFL is kind of a copycat league. So, what Kingsbury is doing, you're going to start seeing some other guys start to do. There's enough of it going around. I think it'll come to Lincoln pretty soon.
It's in this thing that they use RPOs in the space, not understanding that a big part of the RPO game has to be holding defenders so that the route runners can get into space and settle down. It makes my head hurt sometimes.
Well, it's more DP. Yeah, the RPOs are one thing, right? But it's splitting the defense. So in that scenario that I gave you, there was a potential RPO because the safety came down, but they were also splitting the defense, right? They have play action going or a run going one way with all the linemen going that way. So you have those set of backers kind of heading to the right.
Yep.
But then you've got this bubble action. So the defensive backs that are under, they've got to get wide to go get that. And then you got a safety coming down and you got to glance in front of it. It's more splitting the defense. It's a horizontal attack more than a vertical attack. Because vertically, when they get into too high safeties, they're kind of saying, hey, we're going to limit what you're doing, right? That's what match quarters and all that stuff is going. And so the answer offensively is I'm going to split you horizontally, right? I'm going to stretch you horizontally and I'm going to get after you. And you're right. It creates a lot of conflict.
Through all of it, some of the drills that are in play are to get quarterbacks on the move.
Mm-hmm.
How much of that really is arm talent versus foot talent, lower half talent? What's there?
Well, I've heard this term arm talent. I assume that you don't have a quarterback playing at whatever level unless he can make the throws that you want him to make. So I don't, that term got thrown around a lot and I didn't really understand it. But there are times when there are guys who can do certain things with the ball that other guys can't do. Going back to Jaden, there was one where he kind of got flushed he was in the pocket. He got flushed to his right. And as he's kind of retreating, almost like a screen type of pose, he just slings the ball across the field 2 yards short of a first down. I mean, there aren't many people who can do that. But the idea of making plays on the run, understanding the pocket and how to move, that's something that we work with quarterbacks on all the time. That's a matter of getting them to understand the difference between when you're going to get hit, when you feel pressure, where you feel it from, how to move, right, which is drilled and taught. And then the idea that when this play breaks down, where your eye's going to shoot to in a general fashion to go make a play. Bringing up the guy Mahomes, the other thing that will help quarterbacks do that is if they have a defined pocket, right? So if I know how the pocket's being defined, then I can very easily tell from where the pressure's coming from how I need to react to it. And I think the Chiefs do a really good job of that. That's why you see Mahomes get out so much so often, right? Because they have a very specific way that they want to set their pocket up. And so when Patrick, when he's in there, when he feels the pressure, he knows it's only one of two things and he reacts one of two ways. Versus some of the pockets that you saw Dylan in, right? That thing was sometimes crumpling on him. And even though he tried to move in short spaces, it's kind of chaotic. And he did well to hold on to the ball, to be honest with you. And there was a couple protection issues or, that's part of their offense. They're going to figure that out. A couple of the sacks that he took, there was one where he didn't have any answers at all, and you got to take the L. There were others where he did have the answer, but he didn't get to it. And then there was another one where there was a protection issue, and he didn't identify it. There was nothing kind of built in. And so with a quarterback like that, you want to build more of these answers into what you're doing so that if he identifies it, he can get you out of trouble.
If that's the case, having watched Dylan Raiola do what he does, and again, you doing it against Ohio State, where there's such a talent pool for you to throw against, work against, etc. But his ability to make throws on the run,
right?
On the run,
right?
So much of that is knowing what to expect when you get out of chaos.
Right. It's in the mid. So what I would say the quarterbacks here is we always use example, or I always use example. Okay, you're about to throw something in rhythm, like whatever, it's your third step. If you're on your fifth step, you're about to throw it and something moves you off your spot. Well, we know the adage is we don't want to be late down the middle of the field. So immediately our eyes start to think, okay, I've got something to the outer third. I've got something across the field. That's where I want to shoot my eyes to in most of the cases. And the reason I describe this young quarterbacks is say the longer you hold the ball, the deeper the defense is going to get, right? So where is the space? And you get them to start to think about that. And then that's when your scramble drills and all that stuff come in. But that's kind of the basics of it, that if I'm about to throw in rhythm, I get knocked off my dime, my eyes are automatically coming down into this underneath area to find out what I can get. Really good stuff. And talking about running QBs in that game, the thing that really killed him at the end was the Ohio State, excuse me, the Ohio State quarterback running the ball, right? Yeah. He had a couple of choice runs there. So it really doesn't have anything to do with athleticism. It just has to do with play design, good decision-making, and getting 5, 6, 7, 8 yards at a time. And if a quarterback can do more than that, that's great.
It through all of it, right? That the new toy in quarterback play is the virtual reality of giving that, the brain some repetition,
right,
in seeing, okay, this is how a defense lines up. What do you see? Being able to identify coverage, to being able to identify points on the field of attack, all of those things. Where do you stand on the virtual aspect of what's happening in quarterback play?
Well, it's been around for a while, right? It's been around for 5 or 6 years. I think Tech was kind of an early adopter, but that version seemed to die down. There seems to be another version that's coming online, which people seem a little more satisfied with. There's nothing that's going to replace game reps. Anything that can help a quarterback. You got to remember, at the quarterback position, it's a multi-dimensional thing. I do have to know what I'm doing, and I do have to know what my guys are doing. That's one dimension. The other dimension is I have to know how my opponent is lined up and what they're doing, their individual responsibilities. The third dimension for me is now I have to understand how they're defending what I'm running. And then another dimension is I've got to make this decision in the context of the down, distance, time, and score. So anything that helps a quarterback gain that understanding is a good tool. And I think having the understanding before you take the field would certainly be helpful. But at the end of the day, there's nothing that's going to replace the live repetitions on the field, if that makes sense. So if it increases your understanding of what I'm running, what they're running, how they're defending what I'm running, that's great. And then now you've got to take it to the field and make those decisions in real time, because the variables that you can't get in the goggles is all of a sudden your guard takes an L, and you got to move and go do something else, right? Or the guy that you wanted to run the pattern, he falls down or he goes the wrong way. Those things happen all the time. You look at the last play that would they have the interception on? It looked like it was 3rd and 19.
Yep.
And I'm not quite sure what was going on. Was he trying to throw the seam? Was he expecting the over route to come? And then you say, well, if it didn't look good, it's 3rd and 19. Should they just thrown it away and have another shot at 4th and 19? That can't be replicated. But your understanding of that situation can kind of be increased, I guess. So I'm all for it as long as it works.
All right, Barry, we're going to throw the break. We'll come back. We had a listener that wants to call in and ask you a quick, short question, and then we'll find out what it is that you're cooking. Barry Thompson, 1-on-1, 93.7 The Ticket.
Watch live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. You're listening to 1-on-1 with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, and we want to thank all of our customers for a great September. And now it's time for our annual Halloween sales event happening right now at Coppell. Get 0% financing at Coppell. You heard right, 0% financing on select new models. Also, huge discounts up to $11,500 are available. It's our annual Halloween sales event. Get $11,500 off or 0% financing at Coppell. So please stop on by or check us out online at CoppellCars.com. You'll be glad you did 0% with roof credit.
Landmark Implement helps you put dirt in its place with increased accuracy and greater speed thanks to the John Deere Smart Grade. This fully integrated 3D grade control system boosts job site productivity and reduces labor costs with fewer passes and less wasted material, meaning more bids won and higher margins. No masts, no cables, just clear views of the job site. Visit your local Landmark Implement today and discover the profit-boosting power of the Smart Grade and experience the Landmark difference.
NEPCO is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete, Husker concrete, and Beatrice concrete. NEPCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NEPCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just the professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Transform your view with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Heartland of Nebraska Windows offers a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty of everything while keeping their prices affordable. Sounds too good to be true, right? Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give the window experts at Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today at 402-430-3852 or visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Elevate your home or business with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows today.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I can't believe I just scratched that car. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app. app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called Service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called Service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called Service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Kreekak, at 402-474-1173.
Across Nebraska, voters will have the chance to end the current government abortion ban. The government shouldn't be making decisions for families' health care, but right now they are. Ending the ban takes 2 votes. A vote against 434, the first initiative, and then a vote for 439, the last initiative. It's only this combination that will finally get the government out of the personal medical decisions of Nebraska families. Voting against 434 and for 439 ensures that when there's a medical emergency, it's Nebraska families who decide what to do, not the government. This vote against 434 and for 439 makes it so our Nebraska doctors can treat every patient. The government put this ban in place, stripping Nebraska families of their freedom, but you can end it with 2 votes. The first against 434, and then vote for 439. Paid for by Protect Our Rights.
You're listening to One-on-One with DP, brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Final segment of One-on-One with Barry Thompson, and then we'll hand it over. Is Chance going at 7 o'clock?
We got some pre-recordings with Chance right now. We'll probably want a run of those.
I saw him
later
running
for
around
him.
the building.
Yeah, but he's getting in while he's reading his book. Figure Chance of Brewington, getting his reading in. But once he's wrapped up with that, he'll do a pre-recording, be able to run that one later.
Shocker, that's what that is. Barry Thompson, there's a
Yes,
question.
sir.
I'd like for a caller to call in, but they haven't called yet.
Okay.
So we'll ask you this thing. What are you cooking? Sir?
Oh man, we're gonna make something called galopki. So, like I told you, when we say a name, don't get disturbed by the name. We like butter, we like onions, right? We like ground meat, we like cabbage. We're just gonna put those together. Rice. So for galopki, it's kind of how I'll describe it to you. So anyway, you're gonna take some. We'll get about a pound of ground beef, a pound of ground pork. We'll put that aside. We're going to cook a little bit of rice, maybe a third a cup of rice, 2/3 cup of water. Get it going for just about 8 minutes. We want the rice al dente. We're going to let it cool. We're going to take about a whole onion, nice size onion, about 5-6 tablespoons of butter. Put the onions in that butter. We're going to turn it up until they just start to turn a little bit brown. Then we're going to turn it down low and let the onions do their thing. We're going to get 2 loaves of bread or 2 slices of bread, cut the ends off, and kind of chop that into little pieces. Doesn't have to be perfect. There's a technique in Italian cooking called a panade, where you take bread, you wet it with milk, and you put it inside the meatball. And what happens is when the bread gets heated, it kind of creates this airiness, this lightness to it. And we're going to use that. So once that onion and butter mixture kind of cools down, we'll throw some garlic in there. Take the bread, put it in there, and that bread will absorb all of that onion and garlic and butter flavor. The rice is cooled, and now we're going to put the rice. We're going to put that bread, onion, garlic mixture in with the meat. We're going to add a little oregano, a little marjoram, a little bit of paprika, salt and pepper. Mix that meat together because that's going to be our filling. And then we'll take a head of cabbage, a nice size head, put it in some water, kind of boil it for about 3 to 4 minutes each side because we want to be able to peel the leaves off. Pull it out. When it's cool enough to handle, we're going to pull those leaves off, right? And we'll pull about 16 or 18 of them off. And we're going to take about 2 ounces of that meat, put it inside of that leaf, roll it up just like a little burrito, and we'll get about 16 or 18 of those things. Now, we're ready to go. And when you get down the core of that cabbage, don't throw it away. We're going to slice it up, and we're going to use it for a bed in the pot. We'll put all the little galumpkies on top of that. We'll take about 3 cups of beef stock along with 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Pour that over, put the lid on it, let it come to a boil. When it comes to a boil, we'll lower it down to simmer and let it go for about 50 minutes. And then at the end of the 50 minutes, what we're going to do is just strain out that liquid that we use to cook the galumpki into a pot. We're going to add about 3 tablespoons of what's called, or 3 cups of what's called passata or tomato puree. We're going to throw in a bay leaf. We're going to throw in a little bit of allspice. Let it cook for about 10 or 15 minutes. And when we're ready to finish that, we're going to put in about 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. We're going to check the salt and pepper. And when we're ready, we'll take those galumpkies, put them on a plate, put that sauce around it, and put some fresh chopped dill over top of it. And I'm telling you, it's addicting. It is addicting. We made it. I ate 2. And of course, you have some bread to sop up all the gravy that's there. And I woke up the next morning, wanted to have it again. They didn't last around the house, maybe but 2.5 days. Galumpkies. Wonderful Polish dish.
Sounds like a win. We got about 2 minutes. We're going to go to the phone line and bring in Jay. Jay, what's happening? Oh, we lost
Jay.
We lost Jay. Jay, next week, next Wednesday, Jay, we'll get you.
Well, listen, to pick up on Jay, you guys were talking about big baseball players.
Yep.
Yeah, we can't forget our man CC Sabathia. He was a big one.
Hey, yes, he was.
Yes, he was. And Prince Fielder.
Oh, yeah. We went.
Yeah.
Well, his daddy. Him.
Yeah. Let me ask you. And John Kruk.
Yep.
And real quick, we might have Jay. Jay, you're going to have to be quick with it if you're still there. I saw you call back in. Jay, go ahead. You're on 93.7 The Ticket. Jay, you there? All right, maybe Jay ran off to the kitchen. You probably made him hungry. But
we'll get Jay next week. We'll get Jay next week. Barry, thank you, brother. Appreciate what you do. Keep doing what you do. Harrison Orange, thank you, kind sir. That'll be it for one-on-one. Ticket weeknights. We'll take you through all the way to midnight. So hang out with us. Enjoy your night and take care of yourselves.